Hello, 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 people. Welcome to hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's just me right now. It's it actually is a holiday over here in the States, so I'm hoping everybody will join, but we'll see. I did give them a heads up. I might be late because it is the holiday. It is a holiday over here. Got the day off. Busy weekend though. Busy weekend for me. A busy weekend for Arsenal. Busy weekend for English football. Weekend for all of us. But I made it here, so we had the show go running. We might have a late straggler coming in, one or two. I'm not sure. We'll see. We got at least one coming in. It might be a little late, but otherwise it's me. And I'm smiling because I'm chatting. I'm not smiling because of what happened over the weekend. I got to watch the first half of the game, and I w- we'll get into it a little bit more. But initially, my thoughts were, you look at the lineup, and I'm like, well, I was just not impressed. I didn't think we gave ourselves a chance to win, and I think it played out in the game. So we're just gonna start. We can start there. And I guess my initial thoughts on the game where we kind of did this ourselves. We did it to ourselves. We got Anders in the house. Anders, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining. Leeds. I think they did well over the weekend, right? They didn't lose, if I recall. They they did not lose. So you're gonna take that, right? You're gonna take that. You didn't lose, so you're taking that. What else we got here? Let me see if I get up the scores of the games this weekend. So you know what? We'll do that. We'll go over the scores of the game for the weekend. Um, oh, look who we got! Somebody coming to the stage. Welcome to the stage. This is Tony. Tony, welcome to the stage. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing all right.
Cool, cool. I was just gonna go through the scores just to get that going, but we're gonna also say hello to BX Gunner. Welcome to the show, BX Gunner. Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna go through the scores and then get into some Arsenal chatter. But started out Chelsea wins 2-1, 2-0 over Fulham. That game had a lot of controversy in it. The game could have been absolutely different if a call that was made went to Fulham's way. It kind of got taken away, and I don't know. I don't agree with the call. They called a foul in the build-up. It's hard to call. They called a foul on the attacker who, once they got a touch on the ball, was turning to protect the ball and stepped on a player, and that's the only foul I could think of that made any sense. But got a call on that. The ball was forwarded on to an attacker who scores a very nice shot from a young man there, but no, didn't count. And then the game kind of changed there. Manchester United, who was able to come back and beat Burnley, even though I think they took a lead and they were behind, and they came back and won it 3-2. So they got their win. Sunderland gets the win there. That team, huh? You expected them to be able to play against Bournemouth. They weren't able to. They lose 1-0. Everton and Wolves should have been a back and forth game, and it was. Wolves lose that 1-2-3 at home. Leeds and Newcastle. Some might have said Leeds, and I said this going in. Leeds could catch Newcastle on a day and maybe get something out of the game, maybe get the win. They weren't able to get the win, but they didn't lose. So they got the 0-0 draw. Brighton actually came out and got a win, surprising win over Manchester City. That was a surprise to everyone. Forest, they're starting out a little bit. They're struggling a little bit this season. They lose 3-0 at home to West Ham. West Ham looked like they were going to be struggling this year. Gets the win, a very commanding win on the road. Nice for them. And we'll get into the Arsenal match because this is an Arsenal show. But last but not least, Crystal Palace gets a 3-0 win over Villa. I didn't see that match because that happened after, and I missed the second half of the game. Well, missed watching it I had to go back and watch it later, but we'll get into it. But the game we're here all to talk about, yeah, BX VAR corruption started very early once again. Yeah, the still talking about the referees. Everybody is talking about the referees, and hopefully everybody understands this is not it's not one to laugh at. We shouldn't be laughing at teams when it
Can we
happens to
just
them because
kill the notion that it's against Arsenal?
no, it's not. I
Bullshit.
see. I didn't even bring that up. I was trying to say it's a football thing, and I was trying to say that it affects everybody. So for me, it's not an Arsenal thing. It's a football thing. They're hurting football, and yeah, I think it's bad for football.
I say that because fans convinced Ray there's a
Yeah, yeah. No, it's
deal against
yeah.
Arsenal, and I just think it's
There's
silly,
been yeah, there's only been really
silliness.
one game where maybe VAR really hurt our chances to get something out of it. But in most of the games, we've had our opportunities to get a win, and you know, yeah, yeah. But most of the time, it doesn't hurt. It does hurt, but we have our chances. Got Alonso in the house. Welcome to the show. This is Arsenal shouldn't have to depend on VAR, and we're not saying that. Definitely not saying that. Definitely just saying that VAR and way it's been constructed and used is bad for football. So, but we'll get into it here. So we're going to talk about Arsenal, and first things first. Well, the lineup, right? For me, that was where it's going to start. For me, was the lineup and who was going to start, and who was not. Going into the game, we knew that Erdogan was. Well, we knew that Saka was going to be out. We knew that White was going to be out. We knew that Erdogan was probably not going to be in because it was going to be a pre the day before the day before the game they were going to check him out to see if he was good to go, which meant that there was less of a chance that he would, seeing how he hadn't practiced. um, that was a kind of our though I think those are the three big injuries for us going into the game. So for me, and Tony, I don't know about for you, but when I was thinking about the lineup, the first thing I said was Eze needs to play and where he needs to play. And we know what positions they are, but those are the two players I expected to play. And I know it's a big game on the road at Liverpool, but I just thought we had a better defense. So, why not let Nweri play? Play in that midfield and as a play up top. Why not? And let Nuno get his side. But Tony, how did you think about the going into the game, the lineup?
First thing on my Mourinho, no, we figured out
No, no,
last
no,
year
no.
that it was
Before you even knew what the lineup was, tell me about what you were thinking going into the game. Don't tell me what you saw afterwards. Tell me going into the game what you were thinking we would do because of all the injuries we had.
thought as they would probably start
Hmm.
like you did. Thought it would be a good game for everybody that never gets enough minutes. But no, I thought it would be different.
Your audio is a little bit off. It's a little low. I don't know if it's where the mic is, if it's in your headpiece or in your phone.
Some,
Sounds like you're in a tunnel. Just it's hit. So, but yeah. So tell
it,
me, yeah.
it's weird. It doesn't matter if I like do the head or
Well, it
the
sounds better now
iPad.
than it did before. So whatever you did, has made an effect. So Tony, so you talked about before the game. So tell me about once you saw the lineup, how you felt.
Uh, thought it was short. Do not like Mourinho in there. I would have Martinelli out of there. I would put that Kazar every out there. At four, you get the early injury, but
Yeah,
I
you're
wouldn't get into
really
that.
getting lower and lower. So I don't know where your mic is, but it sounds like you're getting further and further away from the mic. I want to hear you. That's why I bring it up. So maybe it's just me. If everybody else can hear you, then that's fine.
What about that? Is that better?
No, it's not. Nothing's
No,
changed. I mean,
nothing's.
I have to concentrate to hear you. That's all. No, I could continue on. Sorry. Mhm.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out. Game on how this works.
That's louder. It's just like really loud now. I can finish.
Well,
I think I'm see if I can turn down. I don't know if I can turn down your mic or what.
they used
That's
to have it where you could turn it, where I could turn it down, but
yeah. I
yeah.
can. Let's see. I can turn it down some. So there you go. Oh, you were just turning it down, weren't you? All right. Go ahead and continue. No, I don't hear you at all. Are you talking?
Uh,
All right. I can hear you now. So at least keep talking. Let's not change anything. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah,
we,
anything else?
we
Anything
never
else?
have any third ones free, so
Yeah. Anything else on the lineup?
no, that's pretty much it.
All right. So let me go through my thoughts when I saw the lineup. The managers is starting just like VAR criminal. Yeah, yeah. We'll get into that when we talk about my five. We'll talk about because I had some thoughts on the five the five things that stood out for me in the game, and yeah. So when I saw the lineup, because it was there was a somebody had written on either on one of the social networks that what the midfield possibly could be Rice, Moreno, and Zubamendi, and I was like, I hope not. Thinking to myself, I hope not. We're trying to win games, Arteta. We're not trying to defend nil-nil draws, and that midfield doesn't give me any confidence that we're going to try to go for the win. That midfield gets me blah feelings like we're not going to try to do anything positive in terms of get 3 points. We're going to have to score via the defense. We're going to have to score with long balls, up to the attackers and so whatnot. We're not going to be able to play through the middle, which I think is what we need to do in certain games, especially this one where we can control it. It, it stood out with the way the stats drew. I mean, they dominated possession, and that's I believe part of that is because of the midfield, and our midfield for me just wasn't going to be able to do that for us. I mean, we bypassed them a lot. Not much build up there. So yeah, so for me, I saw the lineup and I figured this is going to be an ugly game, and it was an ugly game. I watched the first half on Ryan's channel, and I couldn't really say anything because I thought I had already said everything that's going to happen, and we saw it. We're not in. We didn't have much control. We had few chances. We had chances, but they weren't really much to build on.
Nope.
So
11 shot attempts, one on goal. So when you have that, you know
mm,
you're gonna have a bad day because that's just
yeah, no, not good as you said. I mean, we got we got. What's interesting is we had two shots in the first half, and Liverpool had six. So it wasn't as if we weren't like for me. We needed to get like the double digits goals just because I think we needed to actually dominate the game. We didn't do that, and it showed. I mean, we basically were just setting ourselves up for a demoralizing loss in this later on in the game we were playing. Um, Alonso says, "I knew Arteta wasn't going for the win once I saw the lineup." Yeah, it's hard not to think that. It's hard not to think that we build ourselves on a strong defense. So to go even more defensive makes no sense to me. We are a strong defensive team. They didn't get anything out of this game. They got nothing out of it, and we kind of. I think we gave away at least a point, much less we should have had a win. This is Tony and I discussed this on the Missile Dropkick Wrestling Talk. Yeah, check out Tony's show, Missile Drop Wrestling Show, where they talk a couple of times a week about the wrestling. You can check out Lonzo and Russ on there. But yeah, and yeah, this is we'll get into this. This makes your point there. We will get into that in a little bit, and that's kind of we'll talk about that. But Tony, um, yeah, I think we talked about how this ended up the game. Yeah, I think if we should, I think we should just jump into my five because I think we're gonna hit everything there, I believe,
yeah.
and then we'll
I'll
see,
I'll,
and we'll
I'll
see
just
whatever.
make it. I'll
Yeah.
just make it real short.
What I got. What are you gonna make short? Let me go through my list. I think you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. You will enjoy it. Let's see. We'll put it up. So here's my five going into the game. I'll give a little synopsis, and then I'll let Tony chatter about it and get my thoughts as well. So my five basically consists of, and as you can see it here, it's not even a my five. It's probably more. It's more likely more like a 5-7, but that's because of what I thought going into the game than what I saw with the lineup, and it changed the way things were going to work out for me. So basically, the first thought I had going into the game was, Eze will start. That means Martinelli most likely will be on the bench, but then there was thought that maybe Eze would start in the 10, right? Because we're missing tens. Like we're missing tens. We knew Erdogan is going to be out. We knew um, in Harry it might have been looked at as too young to start. But yeah, I think Eze and then Martinelli, he actually played a position, so we'll talk about him as well. Gyökeres, I was expecting him to play big in this game and get opportunities. We'll talk about that. Like I said, in Wary and Erdogan, I thought would be one of the players that would start for us at the 10 position or the attacking mid, whatever you want to call it. So I was, hoping to see that. And then Noni, just I think the front line for me is the key because that was where I thought we would get most out of the game. And last, how would Arteta do? And the reason why I put him in there is because I couldn't think of enough players to get into my five, but Arteta gets in there, and we'll talk about why he's there. My honorable mention, of course, will be Muscara, and we'll talk about why. I mean, didn't think he was going to have a part to play, but he had a big part to play in how the game went and why, they didn't run away with it. So Tony, first things first, we'll talk about my first what I have. Let me go through the chat real quick, and then we will continue on with my five. How does one man kill all of what? Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's more than one man, but yeah, it is. Starts at the top. Chris Nix, welcome to the show. Chris Nix must be happy. Yeah, West Ham had a good weekend. Yeah, enjoy that. I think we're all right. VX, it's frustrating. Yep, yep, yep. Everybody's saying hello. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Everybody's saying Mascara. Yep, Mascara and Noni came up big, and we'll talk about them. But Tony, we'll start with it, huh? So the first things first. Eze, like for me, I had Eze and Martinelli. The reason why is because I thought Eze would play the left wing and Martinelli would sit. You can talk about both players because they both kind of influenced the way the game ended up going. So you can talk about
Yeah.
Eze, and I mean, it sounds like you were surprised he didn't make it.
No, I'm not surprised because I was reading last week that he was at work during the international break on his fitness because he came to the camp late and they
What are you talking about? The man played before he played the first game of this season. How in the world? So you believe what somebody just said? The
it's
man's
it's
played before he played the first game of this season, right?
it's
In
it's
the Charity
it,
Shield, right before everybody. Now you're gonna tell me he wasn't fit enough to play? He already had
it,
played a game.
it had quotes from him in it, so
83 minutes. I don't believe that. I think that's him being nice to his coaching staff. I can't believe you believe that. But go on, continue. You thought Eze sitting was okay.
no, I did not. I would have started him.
Yeah,
Yeah, to me, you always have a fire substitution. So if you screw it up, you can fix it.
yep, yep. We'll get into why that was even screwed up to begin to start the game. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would have probably had Prasad there. I probably would have had as a in the middle, if not Winery
you
there.
said Trossard. You would have started Trossard.
Because he sees the game, he would see Bucharest
Where are you starting Trossard
on the left.
over Martinelli and Eze?
I put Eze in the middle.
Oh, okay, okay, yep. All right. I hear you. I hear
I'm
you.
not that mad, Gary. Not that mad
No,
yet.
no, I just was wondering where you were going with that. Yeah, no, like for me, I didn't, like I said, I didn't even, I wanted to have our best players on the pitch, so I didn't even want to do Trossard in there at that point to start for us. So, you know, Eze didn't start, so Martinelli does. Tell me about Martinelli's play.
Yeah, it's same shit, different week. Just, he's not good enough.
Hmm.
I just wonder how real those 70 million euro offers from Saudi was.
No,
I would have definitely entertained those.
I hear you. No, I definitely, and it comes down to some of this, right? I mean, as Biggs kind of says, it's Arteta not having enough trust in his players. I think as a Erdogan or have or in where he should have played, should have started that game. And I made the comment when I saw the lineup. Look, if you're worried about fitness and you're worried about getting acclimated to the team, then you could at least rotate in as a Erdogan and Mweri. If you really thought you had an issue there, but I think the only way you're going to win this game is you have them on the pitch for some significant time. So, yeah, I think we did a bad job with the way those two players were handled. One, I think Martinelli should have sat, and two, I think Eze should have started. It don't matter where he started, but I really thought he was starting on the left. Got Anthony Herbert in the house. He says, "Hello, Gary. Good night, sir. Good night to you." Yeah, yeah. Marnie is like a son. I'm disappointed, but we'll always back him. No, I'm disappointed that the things that I believe he knows how to play football, he's not doing. He's not fixing them.
But he tracks back, Gary, and that's enough for Arteta
Uh,
to keep starting him. And
As I
that's what's
said, like he
bad.
doesn't do his primary job, which for me is to attack the goal. Like same thing we said about uh, Zinchenko. We'll get into him later as well. But Zinchenko, we said, what is his primary role? To defend on the back line. And what was the thing he struggled the most with? Defend on the back line. So, when you have players in roles and their primary objective isn't being met, then it's hard to say, yes, they should play. How does it? In Alonso, we'll get into your last comment there when we talk about who, because it makes a lot of sense there. So, like Tony, so that was our little segment on Eze and Martinelli. So let's get into it. For me, the one thing I wanted to see, because we haven't had a chance to see this in a while, is have a striker on an Arsenal squad against Liverpool. So for me, I really believe. Look, we got this. We've got Gyökeres. We got a big game. We have a central point in the middle of the pitch. Let's use it. All right.
Yeah.
Now it's hard to put it all on his shoulders, but we're gonna have to. Like for me, that was one of the keys to the game is having him being part of the team. I mean, I think he did have a couple of opportunities, but they were like not. They were like half-hearted
He,
opportunities there
he
to do
did have
anything.
a one howler that went flying through there, but other than that,
When he did what?
but one howler, the one that he kicked the shit out of, went whizzing by the post.
Oh.
Other
Was
than
it
that,
was it below the crossbar? Or did it go high and wide or something? I can't remember now. What he did.
I don't think it went high and wide. I think it's
Let's
pretty.
see what it says about his shot here, because you said he got at least one shot, and he got no shots according to Sofa score. Not one shot did he register in the 90 minutes. They're playing him 90 minutes. He's not getting a shot. I want to blame it all on him, but I can't. I can't. I can't blame it on him. I mean, the man had 7 touches, right? Or 17 touches. Sorry, um, 7 passes. He hit on 5 of them, right? 17 touches, and I know a lot of those touches of the ball weren't near inside the box because he was barely in there. That's a problem. We got a striker, and we don't. He can't give him service, and he's not in the box enough because we can't get it there. Um, so yeah, he didn't win an aerial duel. Only won 3 out of 5 ground duels. I mean, I think we knew that his aerial presence was not there. But yeah, I want to say it's a bad game for Gyökeres, but two, I want to say how is he supposed to perform in this attack.
Yeah, I personally
Yeah,
don't like how he sits on
yeah,
on the right side and waits, but I just when you don't get service, it's hard to criticize him too much,
yeah,
and that's down to the midfield and the wingers as well. That's where Martinelli should be able to lob a ball in there, cross a ball in there, through ball. There should be something. You got a big target man. There's no excuse not for him to get off the shot. But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's had what two out of 3 games now with not a shot, and you didn't bring him in not to take shots. You brought him in to take shots, right? So I think that was evident in the way that we played and the way that he was used. So we're moving
what's
on. Let's
bad?
move on. Huh?
No backup for him either. That's what's bad.
No backup for him, but you know what? If you thought he was having a bad game, which I don't think he was having a bad day, you could have brought Martinelli into the middle. If you thoroughly thought he was having a bad day, we always talk about that. It wasn't as if we weren't in a dire straits. If you wanted to bring Trossard on the play there, you could have done that as well. So you had like some options, not the preferred ones. I mean, he should be able to play 90 minutes, and he should be crucial to how we play. But so far, we've seen it in one game and against Leeds and against two of the bigger teams, not so much. But let's move on. Let's move on. And the next pairing that I have, because usually it's just one play, but I have a pairing just because I thought they would have a bigger influence on the game. Inweri and Erdegaard. The reason why I have it in that order is because I thought Inweri would actually start because he was the healthier of the two. Erdegaard was not healthy, was not a player that had practiced. And I thought, you know what? Why not? Why not? We'll get into the comments about Isak later, but joining us right now, got Zanzi in the house. He says, "Evening, goodness, evening, Gary. Love the curtains." He says, "Hi, Tony. Trust you're well. How you doing,
Yeah,
Tony?" He says, "You're doing. How you doing, Tony?"
I'm doing all right. I'm not in the hospital anymore.
Yeah, you're doing the show, so I'm gonna say that's a positive. All right, you ever do the show? I mean, that's a good thing. You enjoy doing the show, so I'm happy that you can join us. So yeah, Tony. So in Wary and Erdegaard, I mean, talk about them because it's not that they were negative. It was just that they were players that I thought would would be part of this, would be crucial to this game.
Yeah, figured they would, but like I said, he had Mourinho out there. I would guard attention for him or really
Yeah,
do anything. Lenary, like you said, should have been the person getting the start.
yeah, yeah,
And if they're not starting, the kids should have been loaned out or sold. One of the two.
yeah. No, for sure.
When your captain's mostly injured, really not ready to give it any more than 30 minutes or so. If he could only go 30, it should be with Nary. Nary should be able to give you 60, 70 good minutes. We've seen that he can do that. We've seen that he can score. He was averaging 0.94 goals per 90 minutes during the 2/3 mark of last season.
Oh, I'm definitely with you on kind of like the thinking going into that game as to how you would use Inweri and Erdegaard. Uh, I'm definitely in agreement with that for sure. I mean, I think when you set up your team and you set up the depth chart and figure out who's going to play behind who. It's pretty clear who's playing where, and usually you just stick to that when issues happen. That's why there's a depth chart because they practice to play that way. M- Supposedly Moreno is the backup to Rice, so the fact that he plays with Rice when Erdegaard is out makes no sense. At some point in where he's either got to be the guy or you should have gotten the guy. So that's could be part on Arteta, could be part. I mean, it's probably part on Arteta because if you didn't bring in a replacement for a backup for Erdegaard because you said, and I believe that's true, that and where he would be getting some crucial minutes in his preferred position. I believe that's what's been said. And when it's time to
Okay.
do that, you should just do that because that was the plan going in. Same thing happened last season. Guess what? Happened in the third game of the season, right? Once again, third game of the season, right? Erdegaard is not available. What does he do? He goes to Moreno. How did those games end up? Not with a win for Arsenal, right? Both situations, yeah, we should have had opportunities to score, and we didn't put ourselves in those positions. So yeah, that's on Arteta there. So let's keep moving on. Next one before we get to the big one. Noni Madueke. Tell me about your things. You're thinking of Madueke in the game, before the game, after what you saw in the game.
I'm really not sure why we went for him, but
Let's talk about the game. Okay, talk the transfer business. We talk about that later today. We got time for that. But talk to me about the game. Noni Madueke as the right wing for us. How did you see that?
not good enough. Needs improvement.
Mm. I think he's better than what we had before. So I mean, I think he's better than Martinelli in that position. He's more active. He gives us something different. Looks like he's looking to do more with the ball. He will definitely shoot the ball when given the chance. Um, Seems a lot stronger in his play. I mean, he spends a lot of time in the box. I mean, if you look at, like, I'm just looking at the heat chart. If you look at Martinelli and where he spends a lot of his time, it's all over the pitch on that left hand side. The strongest point is actually across, closer to the defensive side in the middle of the field. Madueke, it's solid. It's like red in the box. He's playing in the box. You know, doesn't go deep as much as Martinelli, but I think Madueke at least gives us some presence in the box. So I think that's a problem. It's a problem we don't use him. Um, yeah.
I would have just looked this bit more in that position because I thought it was critical that we got a
Well,
backup
he's a
for him.
backup. What more? Here's the thing, and this is kind of my thinking here. He's supposed to be a backup to our player. Everybody wants him. You can't. You're not expecting him to be Saka, are you?
No, but I mean,
So if we're not expecting him to be Saka, then why are we upset that he doesn't play like Saka? Because that's it. That's what it sounds like I'm hearing. He's a backup. I think he's a good backup. I don't think he's
but
player that
when
we
you
should
have
have
a
to
world,
depend on like a Saka, huh?
so when you got a world class guy like Saka, you need a pretty heavy quality guy back behind
Who
him.
backs up Salah? He's an actual world class player. When Saka's out of the game, who backs up Salah and tell me how close they are to Salah in their qualities and their levels?
I'm just speaking
Who's
for
who's all
Garrett.
right? I'll make it easy on you. Okay, Van Dyke is out of the game. Who backs up Van Dyke? Who's close to Van Dyke on levels? His level.
And nobody there.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody they have. We're we're not spending 400 mil in a window, so we don't have that kind of clout to bring in somebody close to a Saka. So for me, I think Madueke is perfect where he is in the levels and expectations that we have for him. Could we have done better for more or less? I think so, but that's my thoughts. Let me go through the chat real quick, and we'll continue on with the last and the final piece to the puzzle, where I think we have a lot of chatter. Got Mr. Tom in the house. He's talking about, I don't know what he's talking about. This is the nonsense that he brings when he's on the show, and this is the nonsense he brings in the chat. I mean, the man, he's sleeping on something. Mind me, what? I'm not even gonna read that. I'm not even gonna give you not gonna give you the time of day. I'm not reading that one. I might read your other ones, but not that one. You can't be making fun of my team. I don't call. No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna stoop to your level and call you your Leeds team something you don't like. All right. We're moving on. Noni had a great game Tony. That's what Alonso says. I thought he was played well. I think if you're expecting him to be like Saka, I think you're asking too much of him. We don't have anybody like that. To win the league, you have to win games. Arteta set up for a draw. Hence, we are so. Oh, you know what? We'll get into this one because that's our last and final piece. Let me hold. I'll star this one and come back to it. We'll come back to it. Tulsa as soon as I don't know what that is. I'm gonna move on. This is an English football show. I don't know what that is. But he says, "Hello, Alonso," says Mr. Tom. Saying, checking out with Tom, seeing how he's doing. Oh, that's right. Mr. Tom had a big day today. He actually went back to work. So, congratulations on your first day back.
How
I hope
did
it
that
was,
go,
well.
Tom?
Yeah, tell us
How'd
about
your
it.
first-
Yeah, something I don't like, Gary, is United. Yeah, you don't like us calling that team from Manchester United. And you know what? If you keep up with your little, I'm not going to bring it up because I don't know. I might have to call them United if you keep that up. I'm trying to be nice and courteous to you, but you've been mean to me. All right, so Tony, let's get to it.
Call,
Let's get
call
to
him
the.
Millwall or something.
No, you know what? I'm not. I say I'm not going to stoop to that level. Not stooping to that level. But last one and not least, and probably a lot that we want to talk about is the man Arteta.
Yeah, definitely
Arteta.
starts with the lineup, and that's
Yeah.
just the tactics of what we always see against the big six. He just plays for a draw. Sometimes we get the win, sometimes we don't. But not the right setup.
No, yeah, I think Arteta got it all wrong. I think
Yeah,
Arteta got it all wrong in this game. I don't know where Tony went. He's just hiding out. I hope.
I,
Has he fallen and
I
he
don't
can't
know.
get up? I don't know.
I,
But you guys
don't
had
know.
a lot of chatter about Arteta, and I know I've skipped over some of that. And you know, let's start with this one. The manager ruined our star signings debut and sets up like a novice. I mean, I will say
Not
that
Tulsa, Gary. Not Tulsa.
I don't know. Like I said, he put that up there, and I just read it. I'm sorry if I read it. Oh, you had to go find the flag for whatever your name of your team is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I think Arteta really did not set his team up to go into Anfield and win. I think he let the aura of Anfield get the best of him, and he wasn't set up to actually take
Was he
advantage
just
of what
looking
they were.
ahead?
What they were. Think about it.
Was
Yeah, go ahead.
was he looking to it towards the break? Is that what he was doing? Figuring
Why?
out,
This is the big
figuring.
like you're playing a team that just won the league the previous year. What are you saving? What? I hear what you're saying, but I hope not. What are you saving? So wait, he's saving his players and his thought process for what? Forest afterwards, right? No, not in the biggest game potentially of the season. This, it could come down to 3 points, and you gave
And
away 3 points in this game, in my eyes.
I mean, somebody had to have serious doubts of Ise's fitness if he's not
How
starting
could you
because
have doubts of his fitness? I just told you the man was was in he was practicing with his team.
it's what I read,
He
Gary,
didn't
that
come
he
in
was
off
at
the
work on
street.
it during.
And you know what? Maybe that's the problem with Arteta. He thinks people have to be at a certain level to be able to play his style of football, and maybe they do, but maybe they shouldn't have to.
And maybe that's why all the hamstring is up and down.
Yeah, because he overworks them, and they burn out before they even get a chance to play. Right? I mean that's the other part to this, right? We should yeah no he's doing things a little bit wrong there, if that's the case. But I think that was one of the things he got wrong. Right? One of the things he got wrong was how he set up the team and how he asked them to play. I mean, we'll get into this one. I know there's a lot more comments, and I'll go back to those comments about Arteta as well because there was a lot to say there. To win the league, you have to win games. Arteta set up for a draw, hence we were so sterile in attack. Our only attack spark up front was Madueke, the same player who was castigated by some fans. Yeah, no, I think like I said, he's brought something different. Noni, but this is the way Arteta has set up the team. I mean, you've got Jokeres who needs a certain style of. He needs to be supplied with the ball, and we're not getting it to him. So to fix it, we weaken our midfield in terms of attack. So now it is no way he's getting the ball. All right, no way he's getting the ball. We have three tens on the team, three players that can play in that midfield area and play right behind the back of the front line, and he chose not to use any of them. He had three. There's one thing to say if we're down to like our last one, but we had three players that could play in that position. He didn't use any of them. Didn't use any of them, and just to think that going into the break that was a time to do that. No, that's when you utilize your players and get the best out of them. You're trying to win games here. We can't be giving away points, and we gave away points. Gave away
Yeah, I
points.
just I don't know how you justify starting Mourinho.
Yeah, yeah. Let me go find some of the other comments you guys had in here. It's all on Arteta for not being able to get the best and the most out of his team. I think so. I think he pulled some of his cards. You know, he had a strong hand, and he said, "No, no, I'll save this for later." Like, why? Why? Why not just use them now? You know, completely down to the manager with his square pegs and round holes. I don't know if there's square pegs and round holes. I just think he's playing the wrong players at the wrong times. They're playing in the right positions on the pitch, so that's not it, right? But their roles have been. I think the roles are what Arteta wanted. That's the problem. He is not even the square pegs and round hole for me. It's not like we're playing players out of position. We're playing them in positions. We're just asking them to
That's
do.
like
We're just asking them to
you
do the wrong
mentioned
things.
you mentioned Martinelli, and that's what he wants from him. He wants him to hug that left side and
Yeah,
be back on defense.
yeah, yeah. Arteta
That's
is
what
like a
you do.
son. No, I think like I don't think they were square pegs and stuff. I more think that was how Arteta wanted us to play. Um, I knew Arteta wasn't going for the win once I saw the lineup. I mean, I think a lot of people thought that. You know, what are we doing here? Why are we not try to get a win? Yes, you know what? I'd rather us try to get a win and lose 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, whatever, than us not even give ourselves a chance. And I've been saying, I feel like a broken record. We never give ourselves a chance to win a game. We never give ourselves a chance to win a game. We hand we tie our hands behind our back and then try to play football. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The manager will get it wrong a lot this season. Well, I hope not. He needs to. I think each game he should be fixing what he got wrong in the last one. You know, he knows how all these teams play. It's not a new thing for him. We're playing the same teams. They're barely changing their lineups, so the style of play will be the same in most of the cases. He knows how to play, and I don't know why I got this from Mr. Tom. I don't know what it means. Go far, young man. Is that what that means? I'm gonna go. I'm trying. I'm trying to go far.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's what he's doing here.
I'm just gonna go with that. That's what I think he went to say. I was willing to let it slide, given we got the 3 points at Old Trafford, but to ruin Eze's debut, come on, that's the final straw. Yeah, I don't know about the final straw, but he definitely had an opportunity to have the entire away section and his players ready to go. Seeing Eze come on, like he kind of like you said, he had Eze get a bigger influence on the game when he didn't even play in it, and then when he has an opportunity to play, you say no, I'm not even going to play him at all. So he gets barely any influence on the game. I think when we played Leeds, him being in the stands was a delight to everybody. Yeah. When I'm sad, I watch Dot to Death, Steve Williams in the Brawl for all. I don't even know what that is. So I assume some wrestling thing. The whole
It
fan base was rejoicing over this game and players' debut and threw it in the bin. Yeah, yeah, it was definitely an opportunity to build something the team could build on. Right? Everybody. I mean, now I have no doubt. I have no doubt there'll be fans that like as they probably won't start in Forest game. I know they'll be thinking that, and for me, should be starting for us every game. He's healthy. Not every game that he's prepared to for Arteta's game plan, but every game he's healthy, he should play. He should play. Yeah. Got Eros in the house. He says, "Big up G Money and the crew. Big up to you, my man. Thanks for joining us." Today, when I'm sad, I watch Moonwalker. I don't know what that is. It's some you guys are going in places I don't know. I didn't even know Gilchrist was on the pitch. Yeah, no, that's the problem. Arteta has him set up in such a way we don't even know he's there. Yeah, you guys are talking Michael Jackson stuff now. Yep, playing Moreno in the 10. Not good. Unleash the Crow Jackson. Is there actually a Crow Jackson? I don't even know. Let's see. Let's see if there's a Crow Jackson because I don't know. I don't know. Oh, there is. Is there a Crow Jackson? You know what? There is, but you know what? I don't have it in here. But I do have the Crow Judgment. So you should watch yourself, young man. Watch yourself. All right. Wait until we play City. The handbrake will be on, and that would be really silly if we do that. That'd be really poor. So, like, I'm hoping Arteta has learned. I keep saying I hope he's learned. Like, why in the world are you holding back your squad? You can't lean on your defense to win you games 0-0. I keep saying it. Doesn't make any sense, does it? But that's the way we play. We got Sean. I want to say Jelland. I know I've destroyed your name. I'm very sorry. I'm bad with names. But Sean, big up. Thanks for joining us. Got Ross saying something. Yep. We've got the best back five for the last 3 years. 6 if you include DM. But Arteta put just 3 attacking plays out. Yeah, for sure. With 7 defensive players, and Sally, one of our attackers, was inept, and one was never passed to. Yeah, yeah, that is true. You got Gyökeres with no service. How in the world is that supposed to work? And you've got Martinelli, who's not that good, and Madueke isn't the player we want. So I'm trying to go through all this, but I'll let you have your say. Yeah, I do like that. I'm not going to say it, but I do like it. I knew the game would end up the way it was after seeing the lineup, Gary. Martin at left wing and Moreno in midfield sent us out with Martinelli. I think you were meant to say at left wing, and Moreno in midfield sent us out with 9 outfield players and 0 grade. Yeah. Nobody wanted to help us get a goal. That's the problem. Arteta doesn't understand you need goals to win. We didn't have 10 attackers, but we had players that can. I don't know. Gyökeres and Madueke, I don't consider them defenders. I think Martinelli, along with the 7 players behind him, yeah.
nine defenders into attack.
I think Madueke and Gyökeres are players that are not. I don't consider them defenders like I do Martinelli. So I'm gonna go with 8 defenders. I think he's including the goalkeeper in that, right? So I'm going to go with 2 attackers. Sorry, 9. You're right. 9 attackers. Yes. Sorry, I got that wrong. You're right. 9 defenders, 2 attackers is what I would go with. To not try and get the ball into our star striker was absolutely ridiculous. I thought we had someone that's mentally challenged. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Arteta risk averse, and it showed. Yeah, A-Ross saying hello to a boogie down. BX from the boogie down. You're right, Tony. So we kind of like anything else you got to say on Arteta? Yeah.
I just don't know. Isn't it kind of a sign of madness from us that we keep expecting something different?
They keep saying we keep hoping, man. We keep hoping.
It's 5 years now that we keep on pointing out these same things, and there's still a problem. Man, you seen here? You would give him an F for man management, right?
Yeah, in this game, yeah.
Or
I mean,
minus?
like I said, I would rather see 30 minutes of Eze, Erdogan, and Wary than what I saw.
And I would just rather the players go out, play, have fun, and end up lose anyway, than just set up defensively and still end up losing the game.
Yeah, I mean, you play attackers, right? And things should and then yes, that's what I think. Yeah, you have your attackers play as attackers, and you try to score. All right, that's what I was hoping for, but we didn't do that. Sean says here. Sorry, Gary, I have to call number 11 Gary Martin now because there ain't nothing about him, Brazilian or Yoga Bonito. There's a violation, insult to everything about Brazilian football culture. Yeah, a lot of people say his style is not Brazilian, even that's where he's from, and he's actually won a gold medal with them, right? So, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I call him Martinelli, but I mean, I don't know, like.
Gary used to love the kid so
I know.
much.
He had a promise, right? He had promise. He looked like he was going to go places, and then all of a sudden something's changed. And if that's Arteta, if that's the player, something's going on there that he doesn't look like a player that's playing the role correctly, and he just looks out of place. And he needs to go somewhere where he can get more football. He's not going to get it at Arsenal because we need a lot more.
And you had Klopp always building him up, talking about how good of a player
But
he
you know
was.
what?
So
That's because they
he
would
saw
use them.
something.
They can see the talent. That's why, right? They see the talent, so they know if they can get something like that kind of talent, that kind of play with that kind of pace, they can get something out of them, right? Then they're going to do that. But then you watch how Arteta uses them, and you're like, this is not going to work, right? You know,
It's like buying a guitar and you take like three chords out of it. You try to play that way instead with all six strings.
yeah, I hear you. I just no, I just we're not utilizing them the right way, and not good, not not good for me. Um, not good the way we're utilizing him. So, yeah, no, and he doesn't. There that the you saw the. I don't know if you saw the post, right, where you had both. It was a picture of Martinelli and a picture of Eze with the ball at their feet, and the difference was one of them you could see their eyes, and the other one you couldn't. And we know, Martinelli's head's down. He doesn't know doesn't know where anybody is. Doesn't even know where the byline is sometimes because he just dribbles out of the byline sometimes. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's the only thing he knows a word. It's
Yeah,
good at knowing what a back line is and going out of it.
yeah, yeah. And Martinelli's the last pre-Arteta player left if you don't count Saka. Yep, yep. And
Yeah, but he's re-signed them all, so there are tennis players. I don't where he found them.
yeah, and that's Arteta, right? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you yeah. Like he's not getting
And,
better, and you're not working on him getting better. So it's like, what's going on here? This doesn't.
and I think that's the problem with getting rid of Martinelli. He's on a pretty damn good salary. Doesn't live up to the
Yeah,
talent that he shows us.
yep,
I mean, it has to be some way to unlock it, but Arteta does not know how. He just says, "Oh, yeah, he can track back." So I tell him, track back.
yeah,
I
yeah. And
can't be damned. Track back.
and it's crazy because I put up Arteta's name, but we're going after Martinelli. This because it's more of he seems to be the figurehead of why Arteta is not not right. You're not right for what we're trying to do. Or Martinelli needs to move to another league to get his confidence and quality back. Yeah, he needs to get to a place where he can work on his craft, right? Like, can you not dribble with the ball with your eyes down and looking at the ball? Can you dribble with the ball up? Can you do that? I would like to think he's done that before, right? I think he's done that before when he scored that goal against Chelsea. I think he never, barely ever looked down at the ball as he's traveling through the center of the pitch and scoring. Remember that one? Yeah, and I think we see him anytime he scored a goal, he's not looking down at the ball. There's got to be something
what
to that,
league
right?
you would sell him to? It's like you could send him to German, but I don't think he's good enough right now to play in Germany. Like,
Yeah,
does he go to France?
yeah,
Does he
yeah,
go to
right.
Italy?
Yeah, yeah. Though he needs to go somewhere he can just work on getting, where he can be the starter and work on his game. I don't know if that means they sell him or not, but I think they should. But he's a striker or more central attacker. He just needs the goal in front of him. Yeah, so, yeah, he's got the ball. He's got the goal in front of him now. It doesn't seem like he wants to do anything with it. His final third IQ isn't great. Maybe give him less to contemplate. Well, I think I'd like to think they are, but he's trying to do extra stuff, and I get that when you say give him less to do. Um, for me, I just say attack the goal. We'll see. You got Tiger and Guna
Ah,
here. He's just woken up. Tiger and Guna, thanks for joining us. I know it's early for
I'm
you.
just making my own. Just,
Yeah, man.
just do through balls, Gary. Through balls right towards the goal. Then
Yeah,
all you have to do is kick it. It
yeah.
either goes in the goal, or it gets rebounded by the goalkeeper, or you
I
just go
I
away
hear you
with
on that.
that.
No, make it like you said. If they, as a PX said, maybe give him less to think about. Sometimes that's what you do. Sometimes you give those players like who are really good at a certain skill. Tell them just go do that. When I put you on the pitch, this is what you do. Yeah. E. Russ says he's done with Arteta. I think a lot of people are not necessarily in that camp, but I understand. I understand the pain they're going through. I like to think he's going to learn, but like, for me, it isn't even an Arteta issue now. It's for me, it's either a Berta issue or a Josh issue because those are the ones that can actually make that call. Tim Lewis might participate in that discussion, right? Garlic might participate
Yeah.
in that conversation as well. Like I can't believe they're all looking at this going, yeah, we are. This is nothing. This is because we didn't give them the right players. That can't be it anymore. We just spent over almost 300. Did we pay? No, almost 300 million. We almost spent this window, right? Or over 250, I think it is. And we don't look. We spent. Oh yeah, just 293 in euros. 293 million euros we spent. If this doesn't get the answer, you know what? You might not have the right man, Arsenal. You might not have the
And,
right man.
and that's a bad thing because you just got this new striker and these other players.
Hmm.
You have Mourinho, Havertz, some of those players that manager probably isn't going to get the team that he wants out of them. So
Yeah.
then you
Well.
have to go start rebuilding the team again.
Hmm. But yeah. So like I said, maybe that's where it's for me. It's not on Arteta. He's the one being asked to play. It's like putting Martinelli out there all the time and then complaining about Martinelli. Well, you know what? He's not the one that's putting himself out there and not performing. Some of that has to do with right Arteta. Arteta's putting him out there, and then why is Arteta getting to do it if there's maybe some better option? I think people are saying Glasner, right? Crystal Palace, they're taking away his players and asking him to perform miracles, and he's still been able to do that. Crazy take, but Noni's a better winger than both Martinelli and Saka, in my opinion. Has more of the attributes that go with that position. I think we've seen people talk about Saka and other players being better that have those attributes. None of them are better than Saka. He doesn't do the things that they do, but I think he's very solid at what he does. He's not flashy, like a Palmer and stuff like that. But when people start try to compare these players, and then you look at what Saka's doing, you're like, not too many players doing what he does. So I get it, but the thing the thing
And
about the thing that you'll look at is if you're starting a team, I bet you ask, are you taking Saka or Madueke? Who are they taking? They're taking Saka.
and if you have Saka, the person's probably telling him to go towards the goal, not go track
No,
back
yeah,
and
you
all
might
the
play him
things they're
differently,
doing.
and then it looks different. And he's been asked a certain play way, and he's actually good at it. But he's good enough to play a different way if he needed to. But he's able to play the way Arteta wants and make it work, which kind of disappointing in the sense that he thinks it works and anybody can do it, which is not true. Not true. 2 hours of my life, I wish I could get back after watching that replay last night. Yeah, no, it's you know what. Well, it's good to watch it so you can actually talk about it. And you can see it, and you can. For me, I always like to see are we going to improve from game to game, right? And we kind of had not such a good game against Manchester United. Leeds, we looked better, and then we kind of dip down again. Like, and for me, it's not because of the result; it's because the performance. I say performance over results any day, and this is why. Because if the performance was better, we wouldn't have struggled as much as we did against Liverpool. The performance was
Well,
just as
like I
bad
said,
as.
if you go out there, you bust your ass, you attacking. If you lose, and that's only 1 point. Why sit there and fight for the draw when you?
Mm,
Because that's
yeah.
what ended up killing us last year was the 14 draws. You
Yep.
use some of those for
Well,
losses and
I would like
sell
to.
them to wins.
Yeah, I would like to
It's a
say I
big
hope.
difference.
Yeah, and I would like to say hopefully we don't have all those drawers, but he might be going for the 14 losses, and people will be like, "I'm not surprised," because we don't even try to win. So the other team just takes wins from us because we're not even trying to. This manager's a dead man walking. We'll see. We shall see. I think coming back from when we come back from this break, we should have a lot of people. We should have a lot of people coming back. Erdogan should be back. Some people say Saka might be back. White should be back. Right, Eze should be ready to go. Shouldn't be anything about like, well, he hasn't played enough. You know what? Eze, I think will play in an England shirt. Right, right. Probably even more minutes than he's played for Arsenal. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah.
BX bro, enough is enough already. Everybody's ready to move on. Hello, Monday night gooners. Are we behaving? And by behaving, I mean hitting the likes and subscribe. Look at Gary's little face. It would make him, yeah, it would make me happy. You guys hit the likes and subscribe. Thank you, Mr. Tom. Yeah, yeah. Hithing is like a misplace of hith or height, which is an old English word meaning a haven, harbor, or landing place, especially a small one on a river. How did you know that, Mr. Tom? I don't think he didn't know. He don't know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
At some point, Calafiori is a bigger threat going forward than the bum at left
What
wing.
you
Put
talking
him
about,
there
Willis?
and play Hincapi at left. You know what? That's the crazy part. And I say that I've said this many times. Our defensive players look more attacking in the final third than our attackers. I mean, you watch it. You watch our defensive players get into the final third, and they don't do anything to get that goal. We've seen it from Skelly. We've seen it from Calafiori. You know, we've seen it from Ben White. We've seen it from Saliba. We've seen it from Gabriel. I mean, Timber has 2 goals already in this season. You know, that's crazy, right? I mean,
And
Timber is our
he
leading
did
scorer.
really,
I mean, he's
and he
oh no, he's got yeah. Timber's got two goals, and Gyökeres has 2 goals, right? Both in the same game, right? That's crazy. That is crazy.
and Timber's one of those that doesn't really go forward that much like the
Don't go for it,
other
but the
stuff.
man scored 2 goals. So obviously, what you're saying is not 100% true. He's in the box with opportunities to score. I know they might have been off set pieces, but he's there. So, maybe he doesn't have to. Maybe he's hoping that the rest of the team covers the slack when he's not in the final third. you know? I totally knew that Zanzi looked shiftly from side to side. Oh, you guys. So I suggested Odegaard on the left wing today, and it wasn't met with much enthusiasm. Laugh, I'm being dead serious, though. Odegaard on the left wing, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I definitely feel and where he should be given a shot, as he should be given a shot. And if Erdegaard is last man standing and is left out, then that's how it be sometimes. Sometimes you got to do that. Whatever I said, Eros said 100%. So there you go.
Sometimes you just have to set up in the stands and humble yourself and go out there and play
You know
harder.
what? You do that when a player deserves it. I don't think there's that many players that deserve that. I think they're doing exactly what they're being told. That's the problem.
Yeah, you
So
know how many times I've said
yeah,
now, and
yeah. No,
I've
I would
defended
agree. I would agree.
Odegaard.
Yeah,
I've defended Odegaard over and over because that's what he's asked to do is
yeah.
drop back. Yeah. At least now the formation's changed where you actually have a 10, but
Mm.
yeah,
No, I hear you on that. I think the players are playing with the instructions they've been given, and it doesn't look good because it isn't good. This is why
Stop
your Lord
playing with
comments of leads. Yeah,
half injured players. For
yeah,
work.
yeah. For England, Tuchel will play them both consistently. Yeah, yes, he will. Congratulations to James Milner on being the second youngest and second oldest um, Premier League goal scorer. There you go. Yeah, that guy plays football. I mean, he's a football player. He just plays football. That's all he does. He knows what to do. And you need a lot of those type of guys. We don't have that many guys like that on our squad. I think Eze is that, but you know what? I think when Eze was sitting on the bench on Sunday, you know, there's that story. There's a story where the people talk about seeing the lions in the cage and knowing that those are the type of lions that used to be out on the Serengeti and stuff, all free, and now they're caged up, and you're like, you see it in their eyes, and it's like he looked like that. Like, what am I doing on this bench? Why am I on this bench? Right? Why am I on this bench? Why am I not on the pitch? No, it's not about his health. I'm sorry. I don't agree. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that premise. I don't agree with that thought process. What
What they said is fitness was up first, so he
he
was at
he's
workout during the break. So
he's a
that's why.
professional player. He had been playing. It's not like he. It wasn't as if he was going through transfer hiatus like Gyökeres was and not practicing with the team. He was doing everything, and he was performing when he was on the pitch for his team. Now all of a sudden he
Yeah,
comes to Arsenal and you're telling me he's not ready to play because he's not up to speed. You kidding me?
and like I said, that could be why
Yeah,
everybody's hamstrings and that bye bye because
uh, yeah,
Arteta wants them to run too much.
yeah, yeah. And we haven't even got to mascara, which we'll do in a little bit. But that free kick from Slabosly was very, very good. And people said Rayer should have got to that. You think Rayer messed up on that free kick?
I don't think so.
You think it was a good kick, good
Yeah.
strike? I mean, I think it was. I mean, could the defenders jumped out high enough to get there? Maybe, but I mean, it's coming from a long distance away, so I mean, he's got enough time to bring that ball down, and he did. Tiger and Guna, if I was Ethan, I'd be pissed off. Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, yeah, I don't, you had Skelly, you had and Wary, and you had Eze sitting on that bench, and like, not that Skelly was being, let down or anything, because I think he's moving to midfield anyways. But especially now with
Why
Hincapi
couldn't
coming
he
in.
start instead of Mourinho?
Well, once again, has he been practicing there and all this other crap? Like it wasn't like he hadn't played that position for like the last whatever, 11 out of the last 10 years, because that's where he did all of his work as an academy player, playing in the midfield, I believe. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
They don't move those guys around too much
No, no, you
in
work
the
on this.
academy. They spot them what they're good at early on.
Yeah.
I know they
All right, let me
stay
go through
there.
the rest of this chat and we'll catch up and talk about mascara, and then we'll move on. Now I'm trying to figure out what I did as well. Yeah, let's see here. Vertigo and Noni and Supermany wore the long sleeve kits for us in that match. You guys talking about clothing. We'll get into mascara. He had a long sleeve underneath the kit. Yeah, we'll get into that. Get into mascara, anyways. Rust. Base layers are trash. Glad they finally brought back the long sleeves. All right, you guys like the long sleeves. 100% might as well to wear the long sleeves, especially if it's the authentic ones they are. All right. Eze and Ethan were sat on the bench looking perplexed. For sure. Both players look they should have been on the pitch in my eyes. I believe they should have. They should have got some minutes. The fact that Ethan got no minutes, disappointing, and we didn't use all our subs, and we lost the player in the first 5 minutes of the match. We'll talk about who replaced Saliba. Ethan should have gone out on loan. He needs consistent playing time, week in, week out. Sunderland, yeah. No, I think if you're bringing him in, he needs to have a role, and if he has a role, that role needs to be met, and he needs to be placed in that situation. I mean, that's why. If not, then you did a bad job and you sold the dreams to a player. Got Boy Tendio in the house. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I hope this is not we don't see this on repeat, man. I hope we don't see this in repeat. Ray was in the right position, says Tiger and Good. I don't think there's anything you can do about it. It was when people talk about Rice and his free kicks, they don't say that Donnarumma was out of position. They just said it was a really good kick, and that's what they had. They got the opportunity, they took it, and they scored. We didn't take advantage of being the more aggressive team later in that game. I can't I can't rationale why Moreno started over Esse or Nweri or Erdegaard. I mean all three of those players shouldn't have been sitting on the bench. All three of them were sitting on the bench. That's just I don't get it. Also, if Eze wasn't up to speed, as according to our fraudulent manager, then why is he scapegoating and throwing Eze on? Exactly. He actually said that Eze's missing shots was, disappointing. He's got to put the ball in the net. The man played 20 minutes, probably only really 10 minutes when you think about how those games get when you get like the last 20 minutes of a game. It's not the same as the 60, 70 minutes beforehand.
Especially a team like Liverpool that just kick
Yeah.
the ball out when they want to.
Yeah. Mm, yeah. You left your tags on. Huh? You're not gonna wear it. Why did? Oh, yeah. Another thing. Dauman got to play before and Wary. That doesn't make any sense. Like if Nweri can't play, then Dauman definitely can't play. You know what I mean? In terms of like you're trying to get a win. You're not like trying to give a guy some minutes. It's not like we had a lead of 3 goals and you brought him in. We're trying to get a goal. You bring on your best players at that point, right? And I think we should have made a sub at halftime. We
So
didn't
I
do
need to
that.
go back to the box if really wants to make you understand why Tana has
Yeah.
his
Yeah, Sean,
favorite colors.
the manager was cowardly, or he's got a really terrible game plan. One of the two. Take
Or
your pick.
both.
Which one? Yeah, yeah. So let's get into it. Mascara. So Mascara is the last play. I gave him an honorable mention. We lose Saliba early in the game, 5 minutes in. Turns out he twisted his ankle before the game started. We played him anyways, and then we had to pull him. So what was the point? I guess some people have said that when you get an injury that close to the start of a game, you lose a substitution anyway. So if that's the case, what is your primary motive at this point? Have Saliba available for the rest of the season, or let him have more damage, maybe get hurt in the game and then be out for longer?
Is that really true? Because I remember so many times somebody would get hurt and faint during the warm up.
I
They
think
would
they've
change
changed the rules.
players.
They've changed the rules, and it all depends. Like my understanding is that if it's under an hour, then it's not. You can't make the change. If it's over an hour, I think you can
Man,
make the change.
that's bullshit.
Because I think it has something to do as well, probably with the way the gambling is set up and stuff. So they don't want things to happen. They don't even want things to give the illusion. I think that's just me thinking outside the box, but I feel like if he twisted his ankle in warmups, then you don't play him. If he's twisted his ankle, you've got 3 weeks. You've got 2 weeks to get him prepared for the next match. Why are you playing him? So now he played him. He got injured. So now what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen, right? You're going to send him to France so they can evaluate him to figure out that he can't play and then send him back, right? As opposed to we didn't even play him because he's injured. He's not going anywhere, you know? I kind of feel like, damn if you do, damn if you don't for Arsenal in this situation. But like I said,
Or you
go
go
back to
from
Miss.
like a
Yeah,
normal ankle sprain to
we're
a high
talking,
ankle sprain, which
yeah, we're
I'd
talking
rather have
about.
a broken ankle than have a
Yeah,
high ankle sprain.
I hear you.
That's rough.
Yeah, we're talking about Saliba, and my primary thing is Mascara actually played pretty well in this game. I don't recall, like from what I saw when he came onto the pitch, that he looked like, a you know, an issue for us, right? Didn't look like that at all. He looked comfortable playing out there. I mean, I know for me, I don't think Liverpool's is ready yet, but I think he played pretty well in the game, and he's looked good when he's come on. And we didn't miss Saliba in this game as much as we could have, and we have in the past. We had an opportunity to get something out of this game, and we didn't. So I think Mascara, for me, if you can find a Mascara, then you can't tell me you can't find maybe somebody who can sit behind a Saka and give you comparable, give you something. So you know what I mean. So and we didn't spend much on Mascara. So when I look at Mascara and I look at Incape, I feel like you're getting players coming in that are young, that have something to offer, and they have a future. We're not bringing in those players. We're bringing in a Madueke, who I don't think is at the same level as it doesn't have the same potential as like a Mascara or a Hincapi. I'm saying his name wrong, I know, but for me, that's what you hope to get as well. Um, so kind of went back and forth with Dan the other day about spending money on him, and I think we spend too much. He thinks it's what you pay for that type of player, and that's kind of where our differences lies. I think we didn't need to spend that much on that player for that role. He might be worth that much, but I just feel like we didn't need to spend that much there. But no, like I said, Mascara played well. How do you think about Mascara before we move on? Anything else you want to say about Mascara?
I thought he was fine.
Cool. Is Arteta under pressure to win a trophy? Can we really say he's under pressure if he could find a reason to start Moreno against Liverpool? That is a really good question and a really good reason why maybe it don't matter. Do you think Arteta's under pressure to win a trophy?
I think so, probably.
From who? Who's putting him under that pressure?
You would hope that would be your football director.
Who? Who's doing it?
Your football director, you would.
I don't know who that. I don't know who you're talking about. But like I said, I don't know if he's getting any pressure to to win trophies. Like that would be coming from Berter and Tim Lewis and Garlic and Josh. Somebody there trying, like somebody. There should be somebody.
The one that
There should be.
on him,
Yeah, there should be somebody in Arsenal who's looking at the squad and saying we just spent almost 300 mil in euros this window. We're hoping to get something out of that this time around, and it can't be injuries because we're talking about last season. If we had depth, we had a striker, would be better off, and we've got depth. We've got a striker now, so that it can't be. That's not an excuse anymore. So yeah, and like you said, if he's able to put in a lineup with Moreno in the midfield, when you've got 3 10s essentially on the bench, like somebody's got to be asking that question. Why does Moreno start in this situation? Why can't you play any one of those 3 players? And it can't be in where he is not ready to play because Mascara played in this game, and he's only been in the squad and played for the Arsenal 1 game. And where he played 30 plus games last season for Arsenal. You're telling me he's not anywhere ahead of Mascara, and is he ready to play football for Arsenal?
Yeah, but he didn't start playing until Havertz got hurt last year.
In where he played in 38 games, I believe, total over the course of the season last year. You're telling me he can't play in a game when you're losing the player in front of him? Like I understood last season when in the third, think about it, in the third game of the season last year in Brighton, Erdegaard goes out with an ankle injury, and where he doesn't see the light of day for a couple weeks. Third game of the season, once again, Erdegaard is not ready to go, and where he's healthy, I don't recall him being injured. Once again, he's not playing. Moreno starts this time. I think Havertz may have started the last time, or Moreno started, and guess what? We struggle because he can't handle that role. So yeah,
because he had so lot. Because we went through it last year, it's like he hardly had any minutes. Then finally Ty went out, and then he got the regular.
It don't matter. He played. You can't play. You can't play in 38 games in a season and tell me he didn't play for most. He didn't have an opportunity to play for most of the season. You know what I mean? Like you can't say that. I mean, like let's look at it here, right? He played in 26 Premier League games, started in 11, right? And I think in total he played in about 12. He played in another 12 games for Arsenal. So he's got over 1,000 minutes of football under his belt as an Arsenal player. At some point, he should be ready to go, right? Moreno had 1,500, right, last season, right? So, who's the better talent who can play the role better? I think if the role is the 10 and Erdegaard position, then it's not Moreno. It's not Moreno. Mhm. It's gonna say he left the tags on his top, so he doesn't, just in case he wants to return it. I guess. Yeah, yeah. So, like, I think we talked about Mascara. Let's talk about. We'll get into the end of the show here. Let's talk about Dalman actually getting on before Nweri. And I think, did he get on before? He got on before. He got on before Skelly as well. Both Nweri and Skelly on the bench. I mean, Skelly, I don't think we needed to bring him on because we didn't need to. Scalafiore was fine, but Nweri doesn't come on. Trossard doesn't come on. Dalman does, and you don't use up all your subs. And Dalman comes on in the 89th minute. What was that about? He's already played 20, 30 minutes already. It's not like you have to give him he doesn't need a presence anymore. You know how, and where he got the 5 minutes or whatever?
Yeah.
You know, Dalman doesn't need that. He's already done that, and he actually created a scoring opportunity for us by going, getting fouled in the box. So, like, nah. Yeah, Sean, it was Cowley from the. Yeah, we got everybody's going out to the manager. I think, yeah, I would have liked him to give us a chance. He didn't give us a chance. Yeah, some say Cowley scared, or he's just got the bad tech. He's got the bad plan. Selection stinks, ambition stinks. Not impressed at all. I don't know about ambition. I just don't think. I think the plan is
Re-say
wrong.
what you just said, Gary.
About what?
He had a bad plan.
Yeah, he had a bad plan. Yeah, I don't think it's a
plan.
yeah.
Plan. Singular, not plural.
He had a bad plan, and he's had bad plans for many of the games that we've watched where we said this isn't going to work, right? And
You have to be able to adjust, and he doesn't. He just has that one
Moreno's
game
a third
plan.
striker. Yeah, I like him. Moreno's a striker. Yeah, yeah. Let him play up top. If Arteta under pressure to win it, yeah, we talked about this. Yeah, we talked about this. Arteta is trying to impose his will at the expense of our winning chance. I don't even know if that's it. I think it's just not going to work. If it was staff, take off one of our best players that day for a 15-year-old who, unfortunately, didn't do anything. Not knocking him, but Dalman was. Well, Dalman is. You're asking. You're not. What do we like? Dalman. It wasn't time for him to play in that game because you had Nweri, who could have come in. You had, Nweri that could have come on. You had Trossard that could have come on. We're trying to win a really important game, Arteta, and now he's giving him minutes. Like, he doesn't need those minutes. He's established. He's going to be a player for us. All right, he's going to play when his time is right. It's not right in that Liverpool match, right? Especially when you have players ahead of him. That's the problem. It isn't that Darwin shouldn't have got the minutes. It's that you had players ahead of him that should have come on. And Madueke, was he tired? Is that why you pulled him out with 1 minute left in regulation? I don't know. Yeah. Palmer got pulled last week because he tweaked something on the pre-match warm-up, but Arteta pushes on with Saliba. He's like I think Arteta, if he twisted his ankle in warm-ups, he shouldn't have played. Ended up like, where's the training people? Who's in charge here? Like if you're a trainer, a physio, aren't you going, you know what, coach? I don't think we should play him. You let him get the 2 weeks of rest, come back healthy. No, we push it, and he barely even. It's just a regular football play, two players coming together, and it was enough for him to say, no, I don't want to do this. That's how. When you're at that point, then he shouldn't be playing. That reminds me of when Rodri, we played at the Etihad, and Rodri came out and he was just trying to draw a foul, right? And then eventually he went out with an ACL when Partey like bumped him, right? Remember that? It wasn't a foul. It's just like two players coming together. He bumped him, and now he's got an ACL and he's out, right? That's what it looked like after the fact with Saliba. What did Arteta think Darwin was going to do at Anfield? I wouldn't even do that on Football Manager unless I had committed to reloading the save. Related save it went sideways. What is he on? Yeah, I don't know what Arteta was expecting him to do in an extra minute of football. It just seemed really bad. If Odegaard is fit enough to come on, he should have started the game. If he isn't fit to start, how about playing a fully fit eighth? And also, yes, why play Saliba? Yes, Fardetta gets paid 15 mil a year. Yeah, problems. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you've got depth for a reason. Use it. Use it. Don't bring and worry back into your team and give him a professional, extend his contract and then tell him he can't play. What was the point of that? And if you can't play, then he shouldn't be on your bench. He should be out getting experience. Mr. Tom, yeah. Mascara looked good. Will only get better for sure. For sure, I think he will, and he might get to play again. We'll see when Saliba comes back. I'm not as upset about losing Kirio with Mascara and the Ecuadorian. Yeah, and Cappy coming in. I think we've got the depth we need behind our center backs. And we also have Timber that can play back there. We've got White that can play back there, right? So we've got depth in terms of like if we needed somebody to play center back at it, So we've got it. Our first Ecuadorian signing ever. And you know what? My understanding is you brought in the Ecuadorian signing. I thought he was a captain for them last year. You brought in Hogard, captain there, right? You brought in Jokeres, I believe. I think he was the captain for them as well, or one of the leaders there for sure. So you're bringing in players with some leadership capabilities, and then you're not playing to their strengths. Yeah, Berta has way better South American connections. Like sounds like it. Not Leeds United here. United now. Newcastle got bullied by Liverpool and Manchester lost to Gimsey. Is that how it works? I'm convinced that Arteta was Pep's defensive specialist. He's David Moyes 2.0. I see zero indication and refuse to believe that he came out of La Masia, played under Wenger, and was taught by Pep. Yeah, it seems like he's getting less and less from that style that everybody expects. Arteta is not under any pressure only for defense.
He's never went for that style.
Yeah, well, he didn't play that way when he played for Arsenal. So, like for me, how is he gonna do different, right? Yeah, he's not the only people that really are concerned about the football are the fans. We all think we should have opportunity. We should have won a trophy. I think everybody, no matter whether you're pro or not, they all think we should have won something by now. In the last 5 years, City have gotten worse defensively year on year as well since Arteta left. Huh? Maybe we've gotten better defensively and attacking nothing. And where he isn't ready to play, but Dalman is, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, and where he should be, he's a number two supposedly, and once again, doesn't play. In big games, the manager chokes from start. Yeah, he doesn't trust his players. Why put him Why put him on the bench if you're not going to play them when it's time for them to play? Can't talk about the players anymore. All eyes are on Arteta for me. Yeah, I think we complain about the players. We complain about like you can't even sometimes blame Arteta anymore. At some point, somebody has to see this and move him on. If you think he's not working, that's the thing. Is like does Berta, does Lewis, does Garlic, does Josh actually think it's gonna work? Right? Do they think it's gonna work? If they do, then they're not. We're not seeing it.
For filling Gary.
We've got Gavin L in the house. Welcome to the show, Gavin.
When
Mascara came on pretty quick
it.
for Saliba without a proper. Yeah, that's the other thing. You know what? Mascara came on so quick. There is no doubt in my mind that he was asked to be ready to go, which is dumb. Dumb. I think that's what happened. If you have a player who's injured in warm-ups, you don't play them anymore. What you got, Tony? I know I interrupted you. Sorry.
I was gonna say I think it's like when Kroenke's still on this had Wenger finally finished outside of the Champions League. I think as long as you get Champions League money, they'll be happy.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. When you strive for second best, you don't get there. You know what I mean? When you strive for when if somebody said, guess what? We are trying to finish third. You know how often you meet your goals? You barely meet your goals because that's why their goals are really tough to make. So somebody says I'm trying to win the Champions League. Do they get it every time? No, they
And,
don't.
but most damning one, Gary, is going back to when we finished fifth. 2 times, 76% chance to beat Spurs. You have the chance to go get Bruno Dimas. And then they said, oh, we didn't want to upset the project by signing our own player in the summer.
Hmm.
You never got what the team's goal was until the end of the year,
Hmm.
and that was finishing sixth or above. But
Hmm.
when you're at fourth, why don't you strive to keep fourth or drive ahead of third or second? It makes no sense. Oh, well, we're okay with six, so if we start dropping back from four, it doesn't matter.
No, I hear you.
That tells you. That tells you the you need to change people on the board, and you need to probably change your manager because that's just a stupid tactic. So we don't want to
Hmm.
get the wrong player. Well, you got the wrong player a lot of times. I would rather go buy some players in the winter when you're down players. What happens?
I hear you. I hear that's how it works, Gary. If you lose to Grimsby, okay, bullied by Liverpool, you can't hold the United tag. There you go. I'll take that. Mr. Tom will take that. Sean says, Conk is a pain. 15 mil a year, spent a billion, and have given him half a decade just to watch FSG play slot, win a double at half the price, and spend about. You know what? That's not really 100% accurate. That slot just came in and did barely nothing. I mean, he came in with the best player in the league, one of the best defenders in the world at the time, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, right?
And
And they
Klopp worked his ass off to
and
have him
yeah,
set up
and all
for
he
the
did was
future.
just take the really good team that was there, and he got them to perform. So he did a lot of work, but he definitely didn't do it with no talent on the pitch, with no established players on the pitch. He did it with established players. So I kind of, it's not like he just came in and did this all by himself. No, a lot of this was already set up, right? Right? Like so, he had some of the top players in the league playing for him, right? Gatpo looked like one of the best midfielders in the league, right? It wasn't as if they weren't playing with anybody. They were able to get a lot out of those players, the ones that they've
It's not
sold
like
even.
when Leicester won the league. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
it's just
yeah, I mean,
mm,
we have spent a lot of money, so we should be looking to get something out of it, right? But to say Slot, you can't compare Slot to Arteta in that situation. The teams are different. We don't have a Salah. Some will say that Van Dyke is still better than Saliba and Gabriel, but they're really close. If not equal. Their goalkeeper, some would say, is better than our goalkeeper. All right, what he was anyways last season. All right,
I think
so I kind of, so
Gabriel's
I
better
think,
than.
did we have a player like Gatpo playing? Like, we didn't, not really, because at some point we put our six and we put him in in a right back. So I don't Erdegaard was not up to it. Rice is a totally different player to the Gatpo that we've seen. So I kind of felt like, nah, it's not for me. It's not a really good comparison. I get it. It kind of helps, but for me, I don't. That's not the same. We should be expecting to get trophies out of it for sure. But what Slot did and what Arteta are doing are two different things. I think so. Manager is just a shy. That's all we're getting at the end of the season. He's managed. Yeah, 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 yeah. But we have hit the 90-minute mark, Tony. So we are gonna start to get out of here. So what say you to the people?
Um, enjoy the 2 week break. Just enjoy life. Never know what's gonna happen. Like me, perfectly healthy. 4 days later, kidney failure and stuff
You've had
like
a lot,
that.
yeah.
But
You've had a big change since over the last couple of years, for sure, for sure, for
I
sure. So
just,
yeah, yeah. Don't
I
waste
just
his trip, as I
go
like to
go
say. Yeah.
you just go have fun. I mean, this is football. It's entertainment. it doesn't have to be your life, and enjoy when your team does good. When they're bad, just don't look at it as much.
Mm.
For me, I had the Thunder and the NBA, and they had a 6-year rebuild, and they won a championship.
I hear that.
And they'll probably win a couple more championships.
Yeah, I hear you. Let's see here. Answer some of these before we get out of here. Slot has no business beating us to league that margin, especially when all of our fans are saying City have fallen off. Yeah, no, that is not Slot. That's what I'm trying to say. Slot just played what he had. Arteta didn't realize what he has and still doesn't realize what he has because we're seeing it even today, right? You've got Eze, Erdogan, and Wary on available to you to give you minutes, and you choose to play um, Moreno for at least 70 minutes. I think something's not right. The plan doesn't make any sense. The evaluation of the players that you have doesn't make any sense. So that's more. It's more of an Arteta issue than it's a Slot issue for me. For sure, for sure. Yeah, and we should have been able to compete. I mean, 14 draws was definitely an issue, and that's because partly the way we utilize our squad, and partly the way that the skill set we were lacking. All right, we were lacking that. You know, we had opportunities to score, and Erdogan's Havertz is not the guy to do it. Right. So I hear you. I hear you on that one. I just,
It was
like I
still
said, I
the
think it's part the players that we were missing. It was part the injuries that we had. It was part what Arteta brings. All three of those contributed to why we struggled last season. Arteta could have overcome them. I believe he could. A different manager, a better manager, could overcome the things that we had happen to us in the last 4 years, and maybe we would see things differently. Be-
hopefully Berta calls into the principal's office
Yeah,
and
Berta and
over that.
Heinze, maybe have a chat with him and say what's going on. You know, like at some point they got to say like, was there a reason why we lost that game? And it can't be because we got an injury in the first 5 minutes. They didn't score until 77 minutes later. So it wasn't that. So it wasn't that they didn't score until 77 minutes later, and we had triple the amount of shots on goal, triple the amount of shots in the first half. So and I mean, like none of that. BX Gunner says, "Great show. Take care, everyone. Thank you for joining us, BX Gunner." Liverpool have Salah and yeah, no, I think it's definitely different. That's why I don't think it's a slot thing for me. I think it's a definitely there's three things that contributed to the Arsenal struggles over the years. It's not having an attacker that can put the ball away like an Eze, not having a striker like a Gyökeres, not having the depth like we have now. We've got depth now. We've got two at every position now. Right? We don't have a true left wing, but we have Eze. We've got Trossard. We've got Martinelli. So we've got three players that can play their position. Hopefully, one is the standout. We go from there. We'll be back next week. I don't think there's anything special going on in terms of like I might not be there, but I plan. Yeah, we'll have games through the break for sure. We'll chat next week in preparation for the next week's game against Forest.
And
So
I'll
we
be a
will.
year older
So
2
we'll
days
talk
from
about
now.
how the players have done in the international break as well. Hopefully Eze is going to be up to fitness by then. We'll go from there. Boy
Tony
Tendio
has
says,
a
but all the
birthday.
same, yeah, too much money has been spent now. Either players who aren't good enough have been trained by management, or management is simply not good enough. That's yeah. Well, it doesn't even matter if they retain players that aren't good enough. You can still get something out of them. I believe that. We can't say that we don't have players that can perform. We do. All the players that we have can give us something. All of them. All of them. And we'll do this real quick here. Sean says, "Big up." Thanks for joining, Sean, and and Arteta. I hear you. I hear you. It's on management either way, Sean. Arteta is very fortunate. Cronkies have so much. Yeah, they are. It's on management. It's on the manager. All of that. I think Arteta is trying to fit players in. He's trying to make it work. He's gotten so stubborn in his ways. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
He's gotten so stubborn. He's been that way. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, yeah.
that's his
But
nature from what I
yeah,
get.
yeah. But you don't see it, Gary. We would have scored a set piece goal if Slee was on the pitch. Yeah, but that's just one aspect of scoring goals, right? We can't only depend on set pieces. We also should be able to depend on maybe attacking the final third, right? There's different ways for us to get a goal, right? So I kind of felt like, we like even as they did have an opportunity to maybe put the ball, lay the ball off for, I believe, for Jokeres, and he maybe even tried to shoot himself, right? We got ourselves into a lot of trouble in the sense that we didn't get the shot off and the ball just trickled to the. So I think we had opportunities more when we put on our attackers. But yeah, set piece FC, I get it, but that's just one aspect. We should be able to score in other aspects as well. So
What one thing I love what they can do, Gary, is just take a ball straight down the damn middle of the park
mm,
and not have to rely on
yeah,
no
yeah,
inverted
I hear you.
fullbacks and all that bullshit.
And I hear you. No, I get having sleep on, have it getting set pieces be part of our game plan, but we also need to be able to work on the other aspects as well. That's why we brought Eucharist in, right? That's why that's why we brought Noni in, right? Right, to be able to score from open field, right? So there's different ways we're going to score. We can depend on it, but it's not our only way to score. Arteta is generally probably saying that in the coaching room. I hope so. I hope so. But you know what? That's where he's gone wrong because he's got to look at. We don't get 100 set pieces in a game. We get maybe 10 to 12 on a really good game. So the other aspects of the game have to be better. That's why you got better players. You don't sit them on the bench. So for me, I think the other aspects of the game need to get better. When you have players that can do that, they should be on the pitch. Can't depend on just one aspect of scoring, right? So that's me. So everybody, thank you again for joining us. We will be back a week from now. I think Spencer will be back with us then. It is a holiday today. That's why he's not here. A lot of people are out enjoying hanging out with their families or getting ready for the school year that's starting up. Because this is the last holiday and starting I think tomorrow. Everybody's in school. All the kids are in school. And
It's so weird, Gary, because around here there's some schools that actually start the first week of August.
yeah,
And
those
it's
are
like a
those are
fucking
those are like the
105 degrees outside.
yeah, those are the year long schools that start
No,
sometimes
no,
early.
these are 9 month schools. So
Oh, they
we
get
just
different kind of breaks then, I guess. Yeah. But Tony, anything else you want to say before we go?
might do a classic wrestling watch along on Saturdays. That's my birthday.
All right. Yes. So happy birthday to everybody. Say a happy birthday to Tony. Next time you see him, he'll be a year older.
Well,
And
one I barely got to.
and
Barely got to this birthday.
no, you're here. You're getting to this one. Yeah, you're getting to this one. Holiday. Yeah, the holiday is Labor Day. Labor Day. That's what we had. Today's Labor Day. So on Labor Day we don't labor. We don't work. So there you go.
We go to the
Yeah.
lake and
Yeah, I went to a barbecue yesterday. One of my family members, they have a barbecue at this time of year to get ready for the new year. So yeah, or the new school year. That's what it was for. But it's the end of the summer, That's what it is. Essentially, this holiday comes right at the end of the summer, and sometimes kids are already in school and then they get it, and sometimes, like now, they go to holiday and then they go to school. So everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll be back. Subscribe, like, and all of that. We'll see you again on a week from now. Arsenal will not have played, but maybe we've seen some of the Arsenal players on the pitch playing for their national countries, and then we'll go from there. So everybody, good night, Tony. Thanks once
good
again.
night,
Happy
Tony.
birthday, and I will see
We
you.
haven't had that in a while. Good night,
Haven't
Tony.
had that. Yeah, say good night, Tony.
Good night, Tony.
There you go, everybody, and we are out.
Life is a journey. Don't waste your trip. Enjoy the ride.